Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about fear because fear is something that we've been really dealing with a lot this past year. Fear is something that controls us and can really take us off in a negative direction very quickly. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about how fear controls us and how we can navigate fear a little more effectively and begin to deal with fear in a different way. So, when we feel fear, it is it is something that puts us in the fight or flight mode. Basically, we are programmed as innately as human beings that when we feel fight or flight, our bodies just get flooded with adrenaline, and it puts us in a very weak state because when we are flooded with those hormones, then our natural immune system and our natural ability to heal is compromised. And so when we're kept in a fear state over time, it really makes our immune system weaker rather than making it stronger. And if we look at it, what fear is it's an emotion that is related to what we're thinking about. So if you notice, let's just say you wake up in the morning and you get out of bed and it's just a typical day and you feel pretty good, and then all of a sudden you might see something on TV that tells you that there's a huge storm coming, or there's something going on in the world that is uh, not what you want. Then what happens is we naturally go into this, we feel this feeling in our body, and it just naturally puts us in to fight or flight. um, I don't happen to like turbulent airplanes, so that's always a really good example for me because when I get on an airplane that's excessively turbulent, I can feel this flood of adrenaline that comes into my body, and I just have to breathe and close my eyes. And I do notice that it really does calm me down over time. Um, but it was I could feel the hormones just raging in my body. And it's good. Like when we were running away from a lion, it was a good thing because um you want to be able to have all this extra energy and run and get and have all these extra hormones in your body. But when you just have a perpetual state of adrenaline in your body, it's just not good for us. So what happens when we have a thought that is a worrying thought or a concerning thought, something in the world is happening that it scares us? If we just continue to allow that thought to create to regulate our behavior, then what happens is we never get out of that cycle. I like to call it like a hamster on the wheel. So it's like this hamster's on the wheel, and then they get scared, and then they react, and then the adrenaline is there, and then they get scared, and then they react, and they just, and it's like what you're living your life from this fear place over and over and over again. And you can never get out of that. But what we want to do is we want to start to look at the thoughts we think and see how those are relating to this. Because if we can learn to calm ourselves and learn to see these thoughts and not allow these thoughts to control us, then we can get a hold of this fear and learn to feel it, but not let it control our actions. Get Instead of the fear controlling us, we begin to become the masters of our lives, which is what we want to do. We want to be calling the shots. There, when you think about somebody who worries excessively, I mean, there's more reason to worry in the world after, COVID and lockdown and all of those things. But before that, there were just certain personalities who had a tendency to worry more than others. And you could see how the excessive worrying just causes them to be um, kind of spinning around in a tailspin. And that if you can learn to recognize when that fear comes, to calm yourself, and to notice that most of the time, the things we worry about don't happen. And so we spend all of this energy and this effort worrying, and then things don't happen. And the thing is, if something bad does happen, then we can at that point respond to that. But was it really worth it to spend 100 hours worrying about it and then it happening? Or can we choose um, to try to center ourselves more, to trust and to listen to the inside of ourselves and our inner voices, and to calm down and to calm ourselves so that we are ready if something were to happen. So it's just looking at life from a different perspective. And I think that's really important. So the real lesson is here is to notice what your thoughts are. So whenever you feel the feeling of fear and you just feel out of control, if you can take a minute to just sit down and kind of calm down and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What am I worrying about? What is the messages that are going through my mind right this minute? And you can even write those down if you're a person who likes to do that, or you can just do it in your mind. And then just say, is this really something that I need to think about constantly at this moment? Am I safe right now? Am I well, or do I need to react? Do I need to go into action at this moment? And if you do need to go into action, I guarantee you, you don't even have time to sit down and look at it. You just go, right? But if you can take the time when you just I've been in a perpetual state of worry or in perpetual state of fear, and look at your the way you're thinking, and just start to realize that it's not good for you or healthy for you to continue on in that same direction every single minute. And then as you realize that, it's like it comes in your awareness, and it can really help you to start to regulate your fear a little bit more. And so that's what I just wanted to talk about today. It's a little bit about that we do have power over some of these things that we think are powering over our lives. And so whenever we're in any situation where we're feeling fear, just notice, what was it that got you in that fear state? Why did you go from one state to the other? Did somebody say something? Did you learn some new news or something like that? And begin to notice how those bits and pieces of information sort of run you off the rails. And as we begin to look at that, then we begin to see that we don't have to necessarily go off the rails every time we get a scary piece of information, that we can process it, that we can decide what we have control over and what we don't, and what steps we can take. And then we can start to practice clearing our minds and letting go. And this is not easy. This isn't something that happens in a few minutes, but it is a process that we can get better and better at. So again, I'm going to be doing short videos about different topics like fear. And so if there is anything that you would like me to talk about, please let me know in the comments below, or you can go to my website and you can get my email address or text me. Thank you very much. Have a great day.